guys, and welcome to my simple and quick book review. Today I'm going to be discussing Crave by Tracy Wolff. I am not going to give any spoilers away in this book review. Sometimes I go really in depth in book reviews and break down a lot of the story, but this book hasn't come out yet. This book comes out April 7th, so in just a few days. If you're wanting to read it, you should go ahead and read it. I sent this book a little bit early to read, and well, I picked it out to read, but of course I wanted to because the thing on it said basically that it's the next new Twilight. And if you look at the cover, so I'll get right to it, is it like Twilight or not? It's called Crave. It's by Tracy Wolff. If you look at the cover, it looks a lot like a Twilight cover with the black and the red and the white and the way it's presented. And it's just a very clear one graphic thing. It will remind you of that. How do I put this for Twilight wise? If you were a person who read Twilight and loved it, and so yeah, you're into very vampire, very insta-love romance, intense romance, then this book was probably a lot like it for you. But if you've read a large variety of fantasy, or if you kind of read a lot in that genre when Twilight was big, I would say it's kind of very far from Twilight, actually. To me, it personally reminded me of something more along the lines of The Vampire Academy by Rachel Mead. That's the vibes I got from the book. Even though romance is very, very heavy in this book, I wouldn't say it's different from Twilight. I don't know. It doesn't remind me of it as much. There is a lot going on in this book. It tells you on the backside there's a lot going on. So you know there's vampires, you know there's monsters that go bump in the night is like one of the quotes. So this book has a little bit more going on than vampires. The story goes, it's a first-person read book. It is like Twilight in that way. So the story is about Grace. Grace goes to Kentmore Academy, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. She moves to Alaska because her family has perished in a horrible accident. And so she's sent there to live with her uncle, and her cousin lives there as well. And that was one of the things I really loved about the book, is her relationship with her cousin. Anyways, within the first few scenes, you approach a guy named Jackson, and it's intense right away. It's not only insta love, it is instant infatuation immediately in the first, I don't know, it's got to be in the first or second chapter. For me, the book in the beginning, I could set it down, but once I got into the book, I couldn't set it down. And this is like a 600-page book. It didn't take me 100 pages to get into the point where I just kept flipping and turning. I really enjoyed that part of the book. So the girl has some challenges when she moves there. Obviously, she's human. She doesn't know there's these other monsters that go to the academy. She doesn't know what's going on around her. And I will give the author that is very, very quickly in the beginning, she is second guessing things. I mean, like, this isn't quite right. Because I would have been really annoyed with how much is thrown at her if she was one of those people that were like, oh, there's nothing going on. I am so glad the author went ahead and was like, no, she's going to start second guessing things right off the bat. And so I really enjoyed that part of the main girl's voice and character. She is not a Bella character to me at all. And Jackson is definitely not an Edward character. Jackson has some issues going on. You don't know what's going on with him, really. You don't know what happened in his past or where he's at. So yeah, she gets to the academy, she meets Jackson, but then she meets this whole host of other characters. Some of them were very interesting, and I really liked them as well. It's really hard to describe a book without giving it away. It is cold. It is so cold in the book all the time. They talk about it incessantly, how cold it is, and it's cold because they're in Alaska. So that part of the book could have been left out. Like, I got it that they were in Alaska, and if you tell me it's cold, I'm gonna believe it's cold. But sometimes just being told that constantly, it was like, no, just show me that it's cold. Like, I don't need to be told over and over it's cold because we're in Alaska. Like, that kind of sentence was in there a lot throughout the book, but whatever. So things I really enjoyed about the book overall is I really liked the cousins' relationship overall. I really liked Macy and Grace together. I also really liked the twists, turns, and dramas in this book. This isn't a book where it's like an everyday thing and then something dramatic happens at the end. There is a lot of drama throughout the book. I really liked all the twists and turns it takes. It definitely 1000% leaves off on a cliffhanger in the end. And as well as I liked at the end, the author put in notes like chapters from the male perspective, because the first few ones that I read were a little cringy. The first few chapters, I thought they were a little cringy, and I didn't get why they were written in that way. And then when you read them back, you're like, oh, this makes so much more sense being told from Jackson's point of view. So yeah, I thought I had so much left to read of the book, but it turns out there's like a portion of the back of the book that is his chapters, which helped the book greatly, helped me like the book a lot more, because I was like uneasy about those first chapters. I also liked the chapter titles. They were quite cute little titles. I don't typically notice chapter titles unless they have like really good quotes. But these ones were pretty cute little titles, and the little blood is like a little additive. I'm not sure. I liked it though. It was just fun. It was different. But overall, I hope the next book in this series, it's got to be a series the way it ended, I'm sorry, but it definitely has to be a series. I hope the next book involves more of the monsters that go bump in the night, because some of them were really intriguing to me and you didn't get to spend much time with them. I would like it if the next book was not written in first person. I think that's what knocked this book down a notch for me, was just because it was written in first person. I think you could have garnered a lot, and I guess the author was like trying to do that so you didn't know everything that was going on in the castle right from the get-go, but it's kind of told for me from the backside that there's more than just vampires, so you kind of already know as a reader going in. Like, if you're already going to give it away that there's vampires and there's stuff going bump in the night, that like it's okay that the main girl doesn't know and you're on that journey with her, but you also know what's going on. I think it would have been. I think it would enhance the story and made the story better if it wasn't written in first person. And if it wasn't, like, I'd like to spend more time with some of the other guys, or like more time with like her cousin and what her cousin does. I don't want to give anything away, but yeah, a lot of drama, a lot of twists and turns. 1,000,000,000% this is a romance tale. Even more so than the Vampire Academy, romance is the biggest factor in this book. And yeah, I can't wait to see what people think of Jackson, and I hope his story plays out a little more, because yeah, I don't know. I liked his story. I can't wait to see what everybody else thinks. I hope you guys are intrigued enough to pick it up and read it. I really liked it and enjoyed it. I will be going on with the series, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you guys next time. Bye.